Conservative Party leader Pierre Poilievre is calling on the federal government to block Royal Bank's $13.5 billion takeover of HSBC Canada. He says approving the transaction would hurt banking competition and likely result in higher borrowing costs, particularly for mortgages. BNN Bloomberg's Paul Bagnall spoke with Pierre Poilievre earlier today, and this is what he had to say on the acquisition.
Only competition delivers better price and product, and only competition can allow Canadians breakthrough. I should also say, I know a lot of your listeners and readers are interested in the issue of competition. The average age of Canada's 15 biggest corporations is about 121 years. The average year in which our 15 biggest companies was founded was 1899. I think we have one company in the top 15 that was founded in this century. We have a problem where very old, very large, government-protected oligopolies have little competition and therefore little entrepreneurial incentive to become more productive and more enterprising. The only way to change that, or one of the only ways to change that, is to engender more competition in the marketplace. Competition drives us all to be better, and that's what we need in banking and in every other industry.
If RBC is not allowed to buy HSBC Canada, it would be logical that another major Canadian bank would also not be allowed to buy the bank. What happens then to HSBC Canada and the thousands of people that it employs here? As I think you know, when large multinational corporations decide they don't want to be in a particular domestic jurisdiction, they either sell that asset or downsize that asset. Are you concerned about the loss of very high quality jobs in the financial sector if the deal gets blocked?
I don't believe that will be the consequence. So some people have said, well, what if HSBC just gets up and leaves? Well, they'd be leaving behind $33 billion worth of mortgage assets. I don't think they're going to donate $33 billion of assets or throw it into a bonfire. They also have 800,000 mortgage customers to collect from. So their book keeps them here. So their options would be either to sell to another non-charter bank that does not reduce competition. And if they did decide to slowly wind down their operations, well, then the other banks would at least have to compete for the 800,000 customers as those customers come up for renewal and need a new mortgage. I would rather see all the charter banks in there fighting to win over those 800,000 customers rather than just having the biggest come along and buy them with a financial transaction.
That was Conservative Party leader Pierre Poilievre speaking with our Paul Bagnall. And for more on this, we're joined by Keldon Bester. He's Executive Director of the Canadian Anti-Monopoly Project. Keldon, thanks so much for making time for us.
Thanks for having me.
So, Poilievre has been making a lot of headlines today with this rejection of this deal, his personal rejection of this deal. What do you make of it?
Well, I think it's a positive step, and we were glad to see the Conservatives come out in opposition to the deal and in favor of Canadian homeowners, joining folks like NDP MP Laurel Collins, who wrote a letter earlier this month urging the minister to do the same.
Do you expect that his involvement in the discussion here could influence things in some way?
Well, I think it's important to, bring this issue to the public and bring it to the fore so that we can have a, informed discussion about it instead of this just occurring, behind closed doors. So I think the Conservative opposition is an important part of bringing that conversation forward.
Well, the Competition Bureau did make a decision on it already and, and published that decision saying that it, essentially gave the green light to this deal going forward to RBC taking over HSBC Canada. In its decision, it said that the Bureau found that HSBC Canada's competitive impact was limited when compared to other financial decisions. What did you think of the decision from the Competition Bureau?
Well, I think, unfortunately, the decision wasn't entirely surprising. We have a system that really only acts when things get bad enough, but it doesn't protect, a slow slide into monopoly or further oligopoly. So the Bureau admits that this is going to reduce rivalry in in particular mortgages and international banking, it's effectively saying, well, it's not bad enough for us to do anything, but we should be asking for better.
Paul brought up with Pierre Poilievre there that HSBC Canada, it intends to leave. It intends to sell, rather, the Canadian unit. If it doesn't go to RBC, what sort of future would you see for HSBC Canada that you would think would be better for competition in this country?
I mean, the ideal is that HSBC Canada continues to operate independently. It's a very profitable business, much like the rest of the Canadian banks. And so pressure to the global parent company may make it decide to continue to operate independently. Otherwise, the best solution is something that continues that independence from the big banks, but it is always a second best from it continuing to operate what is a very profitable business.
The finance minister still needs to weigh in on this. And finance ministers in the past, or at least I can think of Paul Martin, who you've written about in the past, has blocked deals or attempted deals in the financial space, banks trying to merge in the past. Do you think that we could see that happening with Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland? Do you think that she would get in the way of this?
Well, as I've written, the minister really has an opportunity here to, make good on the government's commitment to improving affordability for Canadians, homeowners and otherwise. So she has the opportunity, and we want to encourage her to take it.